It's time for your official Stars Golden Knights series prediction, plus who will be the MVP of the Western Conference Finals. 877-881-1053. I know it's only been 4 days. It feels like the Stars haven't played in forever. And Corey's got the rally towel going. Did you also dab off some sweat?
Woo,
Is that...
Man,
I thought he hit
up a
himself in
sweat.
the eye with it.
Cheering the
yeah.
night. What's that?
I thought you hit yourself in the eye with the towel.
It's really funny if you're looking on the Twitch page, twitch.tv/DallasFanCam. I think Carter saw this moments ago. It looks like I'm hitting Kevin in the face with the towel. It looks like it's based on how it's going to...
Do that one more time.
Yeah, watch how this goes a little bit. Bam, 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 bam. Just over and over.
Here's my prediction without really knowing much about Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Are you going to say pain?
I'm going to say, I should, because that's what got us there last
Yeah,
time.
it did.
Help me out here. I'm going to say Stars in 6 just to pick them. Maybe I should just pick the other team because it'll help out. But do you feel like the Stars could win a Game 7 on the road? If it gets pushed to 7, are you cool with playing in Vegas Game 7? Because we saw the Stars in Game 7 at home after getting destroyed in Game 6, and you just notice that home ice in 6 and 7 was just so big. So I worry about the Stars without knowing much about each team. I worry if the Stars get pushed to 7, that home ice plays a major advantage.
I do, because they have a better goalie. Like, I guess I should say theoretically, since the series is just now starting, they have who I think is the better goalie. And so I think that makes a huge difference right there.
I don't. I want to, but I haven't seen it yet, right? Like, that hasn't happened yet in the playoffs for them to go on the road and do that. And they've been so fickle. Like, they've been very hard to predict throughout this series. You would think Game 1's at home would be in their favor, yet so far it has not been that way. And so I want to have all the faith that this team continually is gradually getting better at things. They've done enough, and they've been good enough at times. But Kevin, even late in the last game, I was afraid that thing was going to fall apart for just a second.
Okay.
So I want to, but I'm really excited. I'm probably more nervous for tonight's game than I think I was all day leading up to Game 7 of the last series. I'm nervous. I'm just, and I don't know if nerves is the right word. I think I'm just more anxious and excited for it to start. It's Friday. I'm ready to get rocking for a Friday and have a great Friday night. But Friday nights haven't been favorable to the Stars either lately. So I got all these nerves going on. I'm just pumped up about it, man.
And the Stars are, as you probably would guess, the Stars are a slight underdog going into the series and for Game 1 based on, Vegas has a better record, hence why they get a home ice advantage. So that does make sense. But you know what doesn't make sense? Is Rupe Hintz is 7th on the betting odds for the Conn Smythe Trophy. So for the playoff MVP. He's the top star on the list. He's 7th. All right. There's only 3 other teams. There's 2 Carolina players, 2 Florida Panthers players, and 2 Las Vegas players, all listed before the first Dallas Star player.
Would Hintz be your first Stars player listed? Yes. Going into the playoffs, you wouldn't have thought that. No. But based on how the playoffs have gone so far, you definitely feel that way. I get that.
I think best case scenario, Hintz would have been 3rd on my list.
Okay, but right now he's at the top.
Oh, yeah.
Who else would you have anybody else?
I think Miro Heiskanen makes a whole lot of sense.
He's not going to have all the things that you want that are like, look at all these numbers, but you're just like, look at how important he was to that team.
Exactly. And also, do you know he leads all of the playoffs with average ice time?
Yes.
28 minutes and 15 seconds. So not only is he contributing on both ends, he's doing it a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a huge deal for him. So I think Rope and Miro are at the top of my list, and probably at the top of my list for MVP in this series too.
So my question to you then, because I didn't see the other 6 people. Those people, are they more well known than Hintz? Because I think that could be a huge difference there.
One of them definitely is in Jack Eichel.
Okay.
Or Eichel, but here's the issue: is it's also a reflection on who they think is going to win the Stanley Cup. And that's the part that kind of bums me out. It's like, we couldn't even get up to 4th or 5th. They're like, no, we're going to take 2 people from every other team because they think it's more likely that they'll win. And I get with and I get with Vegas and with Eichel is he is a very well-known like former high draft pick. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. And so I get that. But otherwise it's kind of frustrating just to see the Stars disrespected because you know me, I like to be the front runner. I want us to have the first like 4 people on that list.
Yes. No, I get that, Kevin. Well, maybe DeBoer can use that. Maybe DeBoer can rock into this thing and he's like, you know what? Nobody thinks we can do it. It's us against the world. Let's climb this mountain together.
I'm glad that you said not most of that part, except the first part, is DeBoer. That's another reason I trust him in Game 7. He's undefeated in Game 7s. And I know he's the coach as opposed to one of the players, but I think that is incredibly encouraging.
And have we lost? How are we doing against Las Vegas this year? How are we doing here?
Oh, this year, well.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
And
right.
guess what? The last time we played them in the playoffs in the Western Conference Finals, we smoked their ass
Smoked their asses.
to go to the Stanley Cup Final.
Who was their stupid coach then?
Hitchcock.
Don't know. I think he's asking who was Vegas's coach then. Don't worry about that.
Who was it?
Don't worry about it. From the
Bobby Orr.
214, it was not Bobby Orr. From the two, what other old
Is Bobby
hockey
Orr
players
the coach
do you
of the
know?
team? Was he a coach?
Wayne Gretzky.
Yep.
Mark Messier.
Yep.
Mario Lemieux.
Okay.
Patrick Waugh.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie the Eagle. Eddie Nahara Belfour.
You know Gordie Howe, right?
What happened?
Yeah,
Okay.
but no L in there.
Yes, that is true. All right. Here's some of the predictions thus far from the 214. Kevin, I'm sticking with my opinion that the Stars make the Stanley Cup Final. Stars in 5.
Okay.
Woo!
Stars in 5.
That's what I like to hear.
I just can't. Listen, man, the Kraken, as well as they played, would you agree that Vegas is a better team? Like, as well as the Kraken played against throughout the season, maybe the Kraken was picked up late in the season, but they were the 8th seed for a reason, right? Like, they weren't one of the top seeded teams. I think Vegas is, like, they've had their injuries. They have their rotating in at goalie, as we heard from Down Goes Brown earlier. They've been doing their thing, but I think that they are just a better team. I think it's too tough to say 5. I appreciate it. I love the idea.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened in the 2020 series.
Yeah, and if you're going to say 5, let's just go 4. With this sucker, I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh!
But I think it's going to be too much of a game of adjustments back and forth. But it's exciting. It's an exciting one. It's just there's a lot of adjustments that are going to have to be made.
Corey, somebody took your advice from the 6A2 Stars in 4. Vegas never beat us in the regular season. Why would they start now? So
I like it. Okay.
Really?
Okay. Now hold on.
Now,
Are
that's
people?
the confidence I'm
It
having.
worked out well for the Mavs and the Warriors last year.
I think they mean specifically for this season. Now I don't want to know if people are just texting in Stars in 4 just because you asked for that from the 817. Stars will go down 2-1 and come back to win Game 7. They always start slow. That is like oddly a positive thing. Is even if they lose Game 1, is you don't have to feel like you panic because you're like, sure, that's what happened in the last round and that's what happened in the round before that. Now I would much rather them win Game 1 tonight, but you don't have to panic for that. Now,
a lot of people are saying, by the way, hey, look at Florida, Corey. They're doing what the Kraken could have done. Well, they're also playing against Canadian teams. Don't forget that part. The Stars were playing American teams, and we know that's where the real hockey's played.
So hold on. So you're discounting? All right, it's been 30 years since a Canadian team has won a cup, and it's going to go to 31. And so, yeah, that makes sense to me. Now, somebody brought up the point about 5-on-5 hockey, and I'm glad that they did. We're getting a lot of text, so I missed specifically the number. I apologize. In 5-on-5 play during the regular season, I think this is encouraging for the Stars. Minnesota allowed the 3rd fewest goals per 60 minutes and the 3rd fewest high-danger chances. That's a team the Stars played. Then you go to Seattle. They allowed the 2nd lowest shots and the 5th lowest high-scoring danger chances per 60. And what happened? The Stars averaged 3.5 goals in the first round and 3.14 goals in the second round. they can score on anyone because Vegas doesn't stack up at that same level. Obviously, they're still good, but they don't stack up at that same level. In 13 playoff games, the Stars have allowed 3 or fewer goals in 9 of them. So most of the time, they give up 3 or fewer goals, and they've shown that they can score against better defensive teams in terms of shots and opportunities.
Did you call it high urgency?
Yeah, high danger.
High danger. That's what I want. I want more high danger stats in all of sports. Like whenever Martin Perez has a certain count and he tries to throw his what is it, Mike? Which pitch
His cutter.
His cutter.
Most of them are high danger this year.
Very high danger.
Good pitch last year. It'll come around.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to work out for him.
See, okay, and so you know what? That needs to be a segment for another day because, like, who fits in that category? Is it like wide open Steph is high danger, or is it Steph by the midcourt line is high danger?
Mavs are up 15 in the fourth quarter. That's high danger for them.
High danger for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely high danger.
Oh, man, that's.
Do you think they watch the Lakers and go, how do they make all those free throws?
Man, and that, Mike, I will say this. We took that for granted during Rick Carlisle's career. We were and I guess maybe Dirk obviously had a lot to do with that, but we were a fantastic free throw shooting team during that whole stretch of Dirk's career, and even while Rick Carlisle was the coach. It has fallen off since then, and I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's changed, other than maybe they just don't have good free throw shooters, or maybe they don't practice it well.
And I did see a few people were like, yeah, but I think Vegas has gotten better, perhaps significantly better since the trade deadline. I am not giving a prediction based just off of the regular season or anything like that. And I think these teams are very evenly matched, like Corey said. And that's why I can't say 4 or 5. My prediction actually is Stars in 7. Yeah, we had to hit it. My prediction is Stars in 7.
Okay.
But obviously, if you predict a 7-game winner, you would not be shocked to see it go the other way.